Okay, so what we're going to do for Draygon, because she is really annoying to talk about for RBO, because I use audio cues to determine when to drop power bombs. I'm going to play back another tutorial that I already made a while ago. And then if there's anything that I notice that I wanted to talk about in addition, or if you guys have any questions, let me know, and we'll talk about that, and then we'll move on. The video isn't very long, 7 minutes, so it's not bad. I don't think it covers the grapple jump escape, so maybe we'll do that after. Anyway, so yeah, let's just get it going. So first off, this is going to change depending on how much health you come in here with. But you want to destroy the turrets and then grapple onto this one on the left side here as quickly as you can. You want your reserves to activate before Draygon actually comes into the room. And then you want to jump down so that you don't get hit. I have an audio cue right here to tell whether or not I should be using the power bomb for the crystal flash. But after a few swoops, that gets harder to tell. More or less, you just want to use a power bomb once you're sure that Draygon isn't going to be swooping past you again. And I'll break down all of these pieces here in just a minute. That was actually a really good representation of something that I was worried about demonstrating. So, if you go back and check that portion of the video, you'll see that I didn't get gooped until Draygon was like almost on top of me already. You won't get grabbed until your hitbox connects with a very specific part of Draygon's hitbox, and so you can actually avoid getting grabbed for quite a while. I thought I was going to get grabbed there, but I was able to get in position and grapple onto the turret relatively quickly there. So, okay, so let me see if I can demonstrate. So I use an audio cue, and I will try and explain that. I don't know if Draygon's going to swoop at the right time or not, but so again, you want to get your health down. Okay, so it goes do 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 do. That's where I would lay the power bomb if Draygon was not yet on screen. If Draygon is on screen at that point, you do not want to lay the power bomb for the crystal flash, because if Draygon decides to swoop again instead of booping like what just happened, you'll die. So again, right here, oops, that was bad. See, and if Draygon was going to swoop at that point, she already would have. So, all right, now for this part. So you want to get over to the opposite side of where Draygon is going as quickly as possible to account for the swoops. You end up with a right side swoop. You want to position over next to this wall. Or right side goop, sorry. You want to hug the wall as close as possible, and then you want to be holding L here. Then you jump into position so that you get gooped. Once you get gooped, Draygon will rush you and grab you. You want to try and get grabbed right around here on this side. And then as soon as Draygon grabs you, you use the grapple. Now, another thing to keep in mind is you want to let go of L when you're in position so that the flash suit activates. That's how that works. So you hold L, you jump, you let go of L, and the flash suit will activate there. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get a left side. Okay, so on the left side, you want to position on the edge of this platform right here, and then same thing, except you want to activate when you're in front of this turret right here. And again, you want to do it after getting gooped. The main thing about goop that you want to keep in mind is that you don't want to have your hitbox connect with the top or bottom of the goop, because if that happens, you'll take knockback, which will prevent you from using the Shine Spark. So you want the goop to connect with Samus on the side of the hitbox. See there, I got gooped from the top of that second one. And then on this left side, after you get grabbed, you want to hold R and grapple onto the turret. So that's it. The strategy will change slightly depending on how many times Draygon swoops. Like, you'll need to develop different audio cues for when Draygon is going to swoop onto screen so that you know whether you're safe or not. And you need to, you know, develop your own strategy to deal with swoops before the second goop phase. But again, the main thing is you want to make sure that you are on the side opposite of where Draygon is swooping. So since she's going right, you want to go left. See, now she's gooping again. If she'd swoop back to the left, you would want to go right as quickly as possible. And that's so that you're already in position when the goop phase starts. Because if you are not close enough to being in position when the goop phase starts, then what can happen is Draygon won't rush you. If you get gooped over here for whatever reason, and then she won't grab you. And then you have to wait for another goop phase. So, I think that's it. And I'm sorry if I've missed anything. Feel free to DM me on Discord or come in my Twitch if you have any questions, and we can go over it. Cool. So there was that one thing that I wanted to mention, so we'll just go over that real fast. Okay, when the goop phase is starting, or when you're waiting for a goop phase, it's actually better if you do it a little bit differently than I was in that video right there. So see that? See that? I use the visual cue, or the audio cue right there. Okay, so we don't know if Draygon's going to swoop or not, right? And so since we don't know yet, what we want to do is be preemptively facing to the direction that Draygon will be coming from. And what that does for us is if she does come over, we're already facing the right direction, and we can just run an arm pump quickly to the other side. And that way, we avoid two things. We avoid potentially taking damage trying to avoid Draygon, and we also avoid this from happening. Okay, so notice she started gooping, and we weren't in a good spot to prepare to do the turret grab, the grapple, and that's bad. Yeah, hero. Okay, see that? She doesn't even care that we got gooped there. I don't know exactly why that happens, but it does happen if the goop phase starts too early. So that is why we want to be preemptively ready to run back if she's not doing the phase that we want. Just like this, okay? All right, so I also mentioned that I would likely cover a grapple jump out of here. So we'll do that real fast. I have another tutorial for it, but I don't mind explaining it again. Especially because I have better capture and better layout and all that jazz now, so. So after Draygon, we want to come and collect Space Jump. It is not technically 100% mandatory to finish the run, but it'd be very slow without it, so. After we get Space Jump, we want to come over here and break this bottom turret. I just shoot 3 missiles. I jump from the right side of this crab, do a spin jump over. 3 missiles. And then what we want to do is we want to connect onto this turret. Now notice we have blue suit right now. It's yellow suit because speed booster cannot activate when Samus is underwater, suitless. But the glitch puts her in that state anyway, so the game's just like, well, I can't turn her blue, but I can give her echoes. So that's why that happens. And yeah, we have a shine spark if we press down at any time. You won't lose this by holding run in this scenario because holding run does nothing underwater. Okay. So, but if you were to turn on gravity suit and hold run, or get outside of water and hold run or whatever, it's just like a normal blue suit. You would lose it in that circumstance. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the grapple jump. The grapple jump on this turret is kind of specific, I guess. It's probably the best way to put it. So I'm just gonna cover a few different aspects of it. First of all, you want your grapple to connect with the bottom tile, not the top tile. See that? You can technically do it from the top, but it's a lot harder to get the jump out. The next thing that's worth mentioning is that a lot of people will they'll like prime their jump first. So what I mean by that is, well, I can just show you. So when you get onto the turret, what you want to do is immediately after connecting, you want to push down. Okay, and that will extend the grapple beam out away from the turret. Okay, and then interestingly, if you press jump and left, as Samus bounces on this corner right here, she'll do this like kickoff bounce thing. You can see her legs straightening out. Don't ask me why that happens. I think it's really cool that that Deer Force put that in there, but yeah. So that's pretty cool. You can't just push left. That won't work. And you can't just push jump. Well, okay. You actually can, but it won't get you as high as if you do it with left as well. See that? So we're jumping and pushing left, and then we're swinging back towards the right. So if you look at the inputs in the top left, you kind of see we're doing this back and forth motion to get this going. Okay. So what a lot of people will do is they'll grapple, they'll do a jump, and then they'll do another jump, and they'll get out. Okay. It's just like any other grapple jump, where the way that it works is if Samus has upward momentum after a grapple swing and she unmorphs and then, or morphs and then unmorphs, it puts her in a sitting state for some reason. So yeah, you connect, jump off, morph, unmorph. I can even freaking do it now. Why does this happen on freaking every tutorial that I've done for this? I'm like, yeah, it's totally free, you just do this, and then I totally screw it up, even though I like never screw it up. Anyway, morph, unmorph, morph, unmorph. That's the gist of it. If you're having trouble doing it, try not to get discouraged. There was something specific. Some people will do it up close here, and that's fine. But the thing is, you're a lot more likely to not get enough distance if you do that. And let me show you what I mean by that. If I can even do it. Some setups will put you too far to the right. Anyway, sometimes you'll end up further over to the right and you can bonk the ceiling on your way up. That ceiling right there. And I really wish I could show it. Maybe I can show it from the top. Nope, I can even do it from the top. You guys, I'm sorry. I just have like way too much practice with this and can't show the badness. I'm pretty sure I showed it in my other tutorial, so feel free to go check that out. I'll try it a couple more times. But yeah. The idea is you want to be as far left as you can be. And the best way to do that is to initially grapple from far away rather than up close. Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, the fast strat, missile 3 times, immediately switch, 2 grapple, jump out. And that's it. So I realized that explanation wasn't necessarily in depth. I'm pretty sure that my other tutorial did go more in depth. So if you're looking for more on it, I'll try to remember to link that when I edit and put this on YouTube. We're going to cover getting out of Maridia. Okay, so so you would have a blue suit right now, right? You get out of Draygon's room after doing the grapple jump. I talked about this. You line up with this block right here. You press down, and then you shine spark out. Okay. Now we want to have grapple beam. We want to have grapple beam selected when we go through this door. And what we want to do is jump through the door. I don't know if it matters exactly how late you do it, but you want to do it later rather than earlier. So yeah, so we're gonna do that. After the door transition, so during the door transition actually, you want to be holding R and jump and right. Okay, now what that will do is it will buffer a turn for Samus so that she's in an uninterruptible frame coming out of the door with a gravity jump type effect, because we jumped outside of water on the other side of the door and then we're underwater on this side, right? And anyway, it just makes us slide across the wall like that. So that's cool. There are a few different ways you can do this room. You can just come out of the water, jump up like this. We have space jump now, so getting back across this room is way easier. Gosh dang it. I'm actually like curious what the time on that is, so I want to check it. Gosh. Bear with me, friends. Okay, 13:16. Some people will do this sort of a thing where they will freeze the Metroid in position and then use it to get a little bit of extra run speed for their space jumps. Okay. $13.41. Okay. So in order to make that optimal, I think what you'd have to do is that. I still didn't get max run speed there. I mean, we're not going to get max, right? But I mean, like, max for that. 1320. Okay. So doing that is a lot harder and roughly equal to doing this optimally. So I wouldn't recommend that. Or you can do this, if I can make it happen, which is both really awesome and I think fastest from when I checked it before. See if that's still true. Yeah, it's a second faster. All right. You can you can mock ball through that door. It will give you a worse transition by about 5 frames sometimes, not always. That wasn't an optimal, gosh dang it, man. I wonder if this will work. Yep, okay. Wasn't an optimal setup for the previous room, because 1302 is obviously longer, but the potential for a faster room is there with that grapple strat. Okay. Anyway, so you can mock ball through the room. It might mess up your door transition, but it also might not. And then basically you just want to unmorph as you're entering the water and go through the door. Okay. You don't want to unmorph early because it just makes it take longer. Let's see. And then basically what you want to do is, let's see, I think you jump through the door. Does that fix? Yeah, it does fix a transition. So let's compare that. That's a 57. See like what the best time we can get here is. Okay, 47, 204. 149, 62. Those are literally equal. Oh. Yeah. Oh, here we go. 142 and 64. Okay. So yeah, again, it's a potential thing. I recommend unmorphing as you're entering the water. If you time it correctly, you can get a really, really good time. Anyway, we have Space Jump now. Space Jump does this really cool thing where when you're exiting water, you can Space Jump, okay? Even if you're suitless. Underwater, you cannot Space Jump suitless. See that? But if you're exiting water, it does allow you to bounce back and forth like this, which is really freaking cool. So in order to take this route out of Maridia, we have to get Space Jump. Just keep that in mind. Come up here. Generally, you want to kill all these guys with Grapple Beam for a couple of reasons. One, it will one-shot them instead of freezing them first. Okay. And two, whenever Samus kills an enemy with Grapple Beam, it it puts her into a standing state for a single frame, regardless of whether she's in the air or not. So you'll notice that it resets your fall speed. That's why. So you can use that to your advantage for movement in this particular room. Last time I checked, top route in this room was faster than bottom. We'll check it again just to be sure. It's been a while since I did any research in this part of the run. $18.35. Oh yeah, and you take extra damage from these spikes if you go on the bottom, which can be risky. Usually you'll have enough health to tank it, but sometimes you do end up out of here with like very little health, so. 1952. Okay, so yeah, definitely slower by more than a second. So take top route. You're really not, like, the chances of worrying about that extra super are very, very minimal. Do the right side here. In my experience, is faster, and then jump through this door to fix the transition. In this room, you can farm the cax. Again, I don't think it's worth it, probably, but it's up to you. I just do this one on the bottom. That. If you were to do more, probably something like that. It costs like 4 seconds comparatively. 4 or 5 seconds. You also can farm in here if you're worried about like health or something. Again, it's not something that I would recommend. Like at this point, most of the dangerous parts of the run are over. I think I mentioned this previously, but always arm pump when you're moving underwater suitless. Oh, I should mention that too. When Samus is doing a spin jump underwater, notice her momentum takes a while to reverse. If you shoot, it immediately reverses, okay? So you want to shoot, jumping around that corner, take out that fish, jump up here, do a space jump up to here and into the plasma room. This is another situation where we want to jump low in the door to avoid messing with the transition too much. Okay, and the fastest way up through this room is roughly like that. Since we have a screw attack, that kind of makes things a little easier. If we didn't have screw attack, you might want to like take that guy out with a missile. There's like a hundo strat for it, but I did the room entry wrong. Anyway. And then be really careful about this door. You might see some people do this sort of thing. That actually kind of messes with the transition. If you come up on the left side, I think that really messes with it. Let me double check. Yeah. Okay, so that's a 70 frame transition. compared to if you land on this ledge down here and then you just do a non-running spin jump up through. That makes it basically perfect. So that was a one extra frame, 43. Jack does something similar in his dog splice that he did. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think he went all the way up and then jumps through the door. I don't know. Anyway, just be mindful. Find a comfortable strat for that. I stay airborne through the door so that we can open this door before landing, and then immediately kill the eels with screw attack. Since we have screw attack here, and this is the only category where we would have screw attack here, other than new game or yeah, new game plus. If you even come here in new game plus, I don't think you would actually. Or maybe GT code max % or something. Anyway, usually you're not gonna have screw attack here, is my point. So usually you have to take forever to kill these guys, or you jump over them, or you kill them with missiles. Okay, but what we can do is we can open the door, kill them with screw attack, and then be on our way. Now I used to skip them like this, but this actually ended up being one spot where I decided that the drops from these guys were worth it. So it's up to you if that's what you want to do, but that is what I do. Now the other benefit to killing them with screw attack is it sets us up perfectly for this next room. So we want to do a jump through the door, a very late jump through the door, and then again we can use screw attack since we have it to clear this room faster than you would be able to in any other category. Because you can kill the pirates with screw attack. That's a 1043. There are a couple different ways to do that. I find holding jump through the door and then doing a short space jump easiest. You can also do that sort of a thing where you fall and then do a bigger space jump. It's a pretty tight window, but it's a beautiful strat and I definitely recommend it. Now I'm sure that there's probably a more optimal way to clear the room. Not necessarily in terms of like the order that you do things in, but I bet like there's a more optimal way to use plasma beam to clear the last couple pirates. Or maybe just skipping. See, I don't know. Like maybe we just do this sort of a thing. 1054. Anyway, so feel free to play around with that. For me, what I find most comfortable is let go of run off the platform, shoot that guy twice. And when I say let go of run off the platform, I mean run off the platform and then let go of it. Get that first guy with plasma and the second guy on the wall with screw attack. Okay. Probably should have jumped through that door, but whatever. So this is another interesting situation where we want to kill the little eels with screw attack and then open the door and then do a moonfall through the door. Now, you would think, oh, this room is so long, moonfall is totally worth it, right? But it's not obviously worth it. So you spend extra time in that room. That's a 139, right? And then, oops. Gosh dang it, sorry. Come down here and it's a, you know, roughly like a 310-ish room time. Where you also... Come on. Could just do an optimal jump through there. That's roughly the same time. But, you know, a 255 instead of a 310 or whatever. But doing it this way actually fixes the door transition in this next room. And that's something that Jack found out in his splice run. So shoutouts to Jack. Gosh dang it, man. There we go. All right. Oh, also you get to run all the way out through the door, which saves you a couple frames in this room too. I kill this this pancake guy down here for a drop. The way that I time that is just shooting through the bottom of these moss vines. Like that. 2 shots. I think technically you can hit him with a missile, but it's harder. Anyway. Just do 2 shots. Now I can't freaking do it. Does cause a little lag. Should check that. Huh. Three lag frames, and for some reason because of the positioning. You actually save a couple extra frames just because you land further left. I want to land in the water. Very interesting. Hey, there were 0 lag frames that time. Dude, I don't know what's going on here. This is weird. Well, apparently using a missile is faster here if you do it right. But it is a lot harder. Jump through this door. There are a few different things you can do in this room. So you can do this space jump through the water, shoot the door, down aim. Okay. I still haven't figured out which is best here, for the record. So that gives us a 115 with a 67 transition. You can do a space jump. Space jump through the door, angle shot, down aim thing, which sometimes will have you landing like in the door, sometimes it'll do that, and your transition is even more screwed. You can have a perfect transition with a much slower room, basically, is what I'm trying to show. 42 versus 67. 25 extra transition frames for 45 less frames for this space jump method. But the other problem is that this puts us in a suboptimal position for this next room, which sucks. Okay, so this room. Let's figure this out officially. So basically, we want to be as far left as we can be. Coming in here. So that's a 121, 72. 120. 73. Okay. Because the further left we are coming through the door, the more run speed we have for this initial jump right here, which sounds really dumb because it's only a few, but it does make a difference, mainly because of the water level raising and lowering constantly in this room. We want it to be in a specific spot at a certain point in the room. So this is also one of those rooms that just takes way longer if you don't have screw attack. Remember I was mentioning that yesterday or the day before or something. So yeah, I'm gonna try and show off the strat and then I'll try and break it down. Oh my gosh, dude. Okay, so that's a sub 10 room, okay, which is actually pretty hard. So it's a 951. So the idea is you want to land furthest left on this platform. Reason being that we can get more run speed off of this platform than we had before. Okay, so if we just do jumps all the way, I can show that. Might be a little bit easier if you want to try it. 10:03. So it's almost as fast, right? But we do lose a little time. And then you need to do an optimal jump. That middle section just freaking sucks, dude. Basically, so we would want to ledge grab like as early as possible there, but those eels are in the way. I wonder if we can like shoot them somehow or something. No, we just got a screw attack. And then you need to drop down so that you can do a down grab on that last platform there. Okay. Now I didn't used to do that down grab. Anyway, that down grab is a little sketchy because you need enough run speed to make it happen. Like you need to be further left here in order to do it. You can't just do it like from here. Okay. Or even from like the middle of the platform. You gotta be far left to make it happen. Now remember what I was saying about the water level. So if we screw this up, the water level might be at a bad spot. So let's say like we get the down grab, but then oh crap, like there's water right here, right? So then we like try to run and we can't. So you got to be careful. And like if you miss that, for example, that's enough to throw it off. So like we got lucky there, but yeah. Okay, so we got a 951 with a 120 and 73. So ultimately, based on what we're seeing, they're probably about the same. You might save or lose 5 frames-ish, depending on what transitions, etc. you get, but what I would do is go for the setup that gives you the easiest time through that last room, because it freaking sucks. Okay, do a jump through this door. Do a wall jump off this little lip right here into a ledge grab. You can save like 1 or 2 frames if you go up the left side. I find the left side harder, so I usually just go up the right side and up the elevator. Now, I'm gonna mention something here. because one, it used to mess with me, and two, I saw it completely wrecking somebody in a rando the other day. When Samus, we talked about this in Worst Room in the game. When Samus comes out of a wall jump with screw attack, notice that screw attack is ending initially. You can see her coming out of that, right? The screw attack hitbox is not present in that situation. So if you bonk a Ripper here, immediately after a wall jump, that's gonna happen, okay? If there's enough time between the wall jump and when you connect with the Ripper, then the hitbox will reappear. But if it's like immediately after, and this applies to anything, so this is like, you're at risk of this in Worst Room in the game, and you know, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, so watch out for that. However, you can avoid it by doing a turn, okay? Because as soon as you turn, the screw attack hitbox comes back. Okay? See that? So if you just do really tight wall jumps here, or you purposefully space your wall jumps so the screw attack grabs these Rippers, you should be good, okay? Alright, now, I know we said we were going to talk up until we get out of Maridia. I guess what I meant to say was until we get to Wrecked Ship, because this next part of the run is something that I'd prefer to include here as well, so. This next room is kind of interesting. It took me a while to get comfortable with it. So for this, you know, you just want to jump up through here. You want to be going through this door, moving to the right. Okay. You can either shoot and do a ledge grab here. Gives you a 57 and a 45. Or if you aren't bad, and you do the room the way that you're supposed to, at least I think this is faster. Yeah, you can do that sort of a thing. Though it looks like, based on the transition, that might be worse. Yeah, looks like it is, actually. Okay, well, learn something every day. So yeah, don't hold jump through this room. Just shoot it when you come out, do a ledge grab, and run through. Now when you run through this door, you actually want to be angling up, and you want to shoot either going through the door or as you come out of the door on the next side, okay? But either way, you definitely want to be angling up. I just do that by holding up and right on the D-pad because that's easiest for me. But, you know, you could do it with R2. I've been meaning to test this out for a while. See if you can get something really cool and optimal here. But the idea behind shooting through that door is that it will break this block right here, so that you don't have to aim, like stop and aim and do it, okay? You can just run and jump straight up into the hole. There are a couple different visual cues you can use for it, or you can like do a turn, which can make it a little easier. All right, I generally don't do that. You can just like not hold dash and jump on jump right here, basically, or you can hold dash and jump a little earlier. Get up in there, okay? Sometimes I will like do a turn like that, just kind of depends. You definitely don't want to bonk these crabs. They do a lot of freaking damage. And then line yourself up against this wall before you run forward right there. Okay, the reason for that is that if we do a full jump, we can just mock ball like that, and if you time it correctly, you can actually clear the whole thing, which I'm pretty sure is fastest. You can get a sub 9 in this room if you do it fast enough. It's pretty hard. Oh, okay. I remember grinding that for like half an hour when I was first learning this, and I barely got an 858, so I guess I'm a little more proficient at my movement now. This room's actually probably one of my favorite rooms in the route. So this is a Forgotten Highway. Maybe the last room was a Forgotten Highway, or maybe all these rooms. But this is just a bunch of back and forth ledge grabs. And it's funny that I think it's so fun because, you know, I swear by the wall jump climb, where this is basically a behemoth climb type thing, and it's just really fun. So, but yeah, just short ledge grabs, and then you want to be as far to the right over here as you can be, and do a jump very late into this door. Okay. During the transition, let go of jump and time your jumps. Basically, the idea is just that you want to clear that last floaty thing and make it onto this platform here. Now, the way that I'm doing it is kind of YOLO. You can do an unmorph as you are falling, like this, and that's pretty dang safe to get in as long as you do it relatively close to the top of the water. Because if you do it too high, then your fall speed is going to be too big, and you're going to miss it, like that. You also can do it without any sort of a morph. See if I can show that. And that's actually how I used to do it, like this. But this is slower than doing the ball boost. That. Okay. That's the most optimal strat that I've found. So, I wish you luck if you decide to attempt it. It's one of the more specific strats in the run, to be honest. I was playing around with sort of this type of thing for a while. And it can be really cool if you have the right run speed to do it, but it's not any faster, unfortunately. So I also had this idea of trying to aim for like a... You can't literally do a mock ball off these platforms, because if you try, then you'll KO. But trying to do like an optimal bounce ball off of it somehow. And that's how I ended up doing that ball boost there. First time I did it, it was an accident. So, nah. Anyway, so yeah, this is the last room getting in direct ship. And we will cover wrecked ship probably tomorrow, if I have time. one thing that I will mention is that we want to do a short charge into this room. I do a triple stutter 2-tap. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. But a triple stutter 2-tap gives us just enough that we can do a charge right as we reach the edge of that there. Okay. A triple stutter 1 will not quite get us enough, so we'd have to delay our shot if it works at all. Let's look. Yeah, I can't get that to work. And a 3, so if you were to do and then hold through the door is a little overkill, but you can do it. So anyway, we'll cover wrecked ship next time. For now, I'm gonna try and start runs because I feel like trying runs. So